Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, Jeopardy begins its final week with Alex Trebek as the beloved host leaves behind a poignant message for us all. Plus, a new lady is wild about Harry style. It's all in the hot dish. Then it's soup season. Our foodie queen, Stephanie Hansen, is here with great recipes to make yourself and great places to go. And new guy, new housing. The Bachelor is back, and producer Ted is all about it. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Make it a good day. Good morning, everybody. We are live from our studios in the Twin Cities. Hello to Coon Rapids. Hello to South Minneapolis. Hello to Wisconsin. And hello to our friends in Duluth. Welcome to the Jason Show. Hey, my name's Jason. And please welcome my sidekick sister from another mister. She's wearing my favorite outfit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kendall Mark, everyone. It is. It really is. I compliment you a lot because you look beautiful every day. But that's my favorite. You know that I love that one.
You love the sleeves.
I love the sleeves. Yep. And it is our publicity photo outfit. I think I'm wearing the same suit that I wore in the publicity photo.
Good memory.
We did not plan that out, but yeah. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
You know what? I'm still feeling refreshed from the break.
That's good.
Like I'm feeling good. And this is where executive producer Jeff goes, "Well, you should. You were off for a month." So yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
I was feeling good until executive producer Jeff started working on a project.
Okay.
And I didn't know what this project was.
Uh-huh.
This is what he said to me when I walked in yesterday. "Welcome back from your vacation." I said, "Thank you." And he goes, and I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm working on a project." And I don't know why I gave him that voice. Like
very deep, angry voice.
But anyway, and I said, "Well, what are you working on?" And he didn't answer me. And all he had was like a stack of tapes.
Oh, I saw him carrying those around today.
Well, I did too. Mm-hmm. And I recognized the handwriting. It's my handwriting. And I thought, oh, these are archive tapes from my 22 years or however long I've been here. And I'm like, well, what's he doing with that? And I thought, am I dying? Is he preparing my obit montage? You know?
Yeah.
Am I being fired? And they haven't told me yet?
Yeah.
Because, hey, crazier things have happened in TV news.
It's true.
And let's be clear, if I was fired, I wouldn't get a montage. Let's be you know what the montage would be? The Jack Show's next. Yeah. That graphic would be changing real quick.
Yep.
Anyway, so he's working on something that we're going to be doing in February where we've realized that people are looking for vintage stuff, throwbacks. Well, we have 22 years of throwbacks from yours truly. Because I've been doing TV since 1997. Mm-hmm. I started here in Channel 9 in 2000. So Jeff is going through about 100 tapes, finding funny and embarrassing segments from my past. And he posted one, he sent me a picture of a preview. This is me in 2004. Okay, now don't laugh right away.
I didn't laugh.
Thank you. Jeff immediately laughed. First of all, there's so many things to dissect with this photo. First, it looks like Fox 9, hello. First, it looks like Fox 9 invited an elementary school to play TV for a day. You know what I mean? They went to Edgewood and they said, "Hey kid, you want to do a TV interview? Because I'm getting ready for an interview here." So and then the hair, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Look at the
very
color.
Very boy band.
And I have the faux hawk, and I thought strawberry blonde was working for me.
I like it.
I don't mind it, because I'm looking for a new hairstyle. I am going to grow my hair out, I've decided.
Oh.
I need a new hairstylist because Mermaid, she went back into the ocean, so I'm looking for a new hairstylist.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. I need a new hairstylist because I want to start growing out my hair. But I'm looking at that. I'm never going to go back to the faux hawk. But
how old were you in that photo?
Jeff, that was what, 2004? Well, I'm 46 now. How old would I have been? Well, I would have been 30. 30.
I was going to say, I was doing that math, and I was like, wait, we're the same age in that photo.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. That's kind of fun, right? Right? I think it's fun. No?
It's time for the hot dish. Here we go, everybody. Let's go.
I thought it was fun. That was very.
Oh, I feel the AARP mailer in my mailbox at any moment. Yes. Whatever, Kendall. Thanks for making me feel good. The late night shows returned for 2021 last night. And those shows that are based in LA returned to some very familiar places. And I think you know why. Here's a clip from Kimmel.
An exciting new year. 2021 is in, 2020 is out. I've been bubbling with enthusiasm, optimism. I've been ready for a return to normalcy. And here I am doing the show from my kitchen again because there's a deadly virus that seems to be living in LA now. It seems to have taken permanent residence here. I believe it lives across the street from me in Kendall Jenner's old house. I also chopped the tip of my finger off on Christmas Eve cutting a wheel of Parmesan. So good times, everybody.
Jimmy is back at home, as is James Corden. There's James back in his garage. The LA County Department of Health asked the TV and film industry, this is what's happening, to consider pausing production for a few weeks while the coronavirus cases surge there. So yeah, not just talk shows. I think all of the LA-based dramas are being pushed back. Any show that's there. Half the shows nowadays are in Vancouver.
Right.
A lot of shows. Every show in the CW. Is that what it's called? No, the WB. No, that's the Frog Network. It's the CW now.
It is the CW, yeah.
It used to be we had UPN. That's what we used to be here at Channel 9. Did you know that? Do you even know what
I
UPN?
remember the WB.
The Frog
I remember
Network.
The UPN.
Here comes Dawson's Creek. And then I don't think that was
a good
actually the song.
impression.
Thank you. It was a Warner Brothers Frog.
Yeah.
And then we had UPN. That was Channel 9. So that was the United Paramount Network. We had Voyager and Moesha. And that was it.
Moesha, I loved that
we loved
show.
Moesha. It was a huge hit.
I loved that show.
And then those two networks went away, and then they combined and became the CW.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's how you make babies.
That's
in
how
TV.
you make TV network babies. I guess. Next in the dish, it's a new era for the ladies of the talk. The struggling show welcomed its newest members to the virtual table yesterday. Amanda Klutz and Elaine Welteroth officially began their 10 years as co-hosts. Now, Amanda is a former Rockette, and if she looks familiar, it is because she is the widow of the late Nick Cordero. Elaine is a fashion icon and former editor of Teen Vogue. Jeff Orchid also held that job. He was an editor of Teen Vogue. No, he was editor of Sassy. Remember that magazine in the 90s? Sassy? You would have loved that magazine. It was
Probably.
Sassy. Anyway, the two replaced Marie Osmond and Eve. I don't know. Now look,
You don't know?
I don't know. The talk is struggling. The talk really is struggling. Just like, and let me make this parallel, and I think it's applicable. Late night talk shows that went political, whether we agree with it or not, the late night shows that went political have seen a ratings rise. And then the shows that did not initially, like Fallon, saw a ratings decrease. The same could be said for The Talk and The View. The View, which you're not watching right now, is incredibly political. And whether you love it or not, the ratings went up. It's the #1 show. I mean, the View just finished the season. They're #1. I mean, they finished the first part of the season. It's #1. And The Talk is they don't do a lot of controversial topics. So I don't know in this era.
Like, what's their niche?
What's their niche now?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And I don't know those two ladies. I know obviously the first lady, God bless her, because of her late husband, I became aware of her. But I haven't read Teen Vogue since, I don't know, 89?
Right.
Was I a teenager then? Yeah.
Do the math. We can do it again.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with this one, we talked about this when they announced them.
Yeah.
The two names that they were replacing were big, especially with their demographic. That's the thing, too. Like, your demo that's watching you, and the women are both a little younger, I think, than...
Well, also, and you can make the argument, too, that big names don't always bring in the viewers. I mean, look at the amount of people that have been given talk shows that are big names that have failed. My ex-wife, Katie Couric, big name. A big name doesn't necessarily mean rating success.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The counter of that, nobody knew who Oprah was before the Oprah
True.
Winfrey Show debuted, and Oprah became a hit. So maybe these two ladies are the ticket. I'm going to watch. I didn't watch yesterday, so I'm going to give them a try. Next in the dish, it's the final week of shows on Jeopardy before the death of Alex Trebek. But before his show on Monday, Alex delivered And this is what I love about this. You'll see a spontaneous message at the top. Look at this.
Here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You'll recall that about a month ago, I asked all of you to take a moment to give thanks for all of the blessings that you enjoy in your lives. Now, today, a different kind of message. This is the season of giving. I know you want to be generous with your family, your friends, your loved ones. But today, I'd like you to go one step further. I'd like you to open up your hands and open up your heart to those who are still suffering because of COVID-19. People who are suffering through no fault of their own. We're trying to build a gentler, kinder society. And if we all pitch in just a little bit, we're going to get there.
I know it seems overly simplistic, but you know what? It was funny that I saw that clip, and it was juxtaposed to a clip that I was on the internet, and I was looking for stuff for the shows. And right before I saw that clip, I saw a clip of a group of people going into a store and spitting on people because they were spitting on people that were wearing masks. And I thought, and then I see that clip from Alex Trebek, and I just thought, wow, overly simplistic, but it seems sadly lofty right now to build that gentler society when we just seem to be butting heads and hating each other, you know? Not just disagreeing, but hating each other. And it was weird that in that moment yesterday in my life, I saw those two clips back to back. And it made the Alex Trebek clip even more revelatory to me. I was like, yeah, we should be, you know, lofty.
Yeah.
Sadly lofty right now. But the executive producer said everyone had chills in the set. Alex's final show will be Friday. He taped it about a week before his death. And the fun fact about that moment, the executive producer had no idea he was going to do that spontaneous message. He came out, Johnny said the announcement, he stood up and he did that speech. It was lovely. We have a lot more to come, everybody. We'll be back right after this.
More hot dishes coming up next. What's better than a regular-sized David Hasselhoff? How about a super-sized David Hasselhoff? And guess what? It can be yours if the price is right. Then 'tis the season for soup, and nobody knows the season better than Stephanie Hansen. She has you covered with some great recipes, plus her list of the best takeout soups. And a history-making season of The Bachelor begins. But did the season premiere live up to all the hype? Producer Ted will tell all when we return.
Queen Victoria's here. I know I'm so confident and I'm so fun and I know I made a good impression. So I just want to put my best foot forward.
I love the new season of The Crown. It's hilarious. This Victoria is obviously on the show because her personality is atrocious. She calls herself the Queen over and over again. And it would appear that the Queen didn't fare so well on the analogy portion of the SAT.
Y'all haven't made it any easier being gorgeous and just being great people. So it's like drinking through a fire hose. It's trying to make sure.
Drinking through a fire hose.
Drinking through a fire hose expression.
I've never heard that.
You haven't heard that expression? So
Is
it's
that
like
Southern?
I just think it's just a general trying to take on a lot of information at one time. So if it's if you go to a water fountain, it's you're chilling, you're drinking. But if you open a fire hose and you're trying to drink, it's impossible to drink out of a fire hose. So it's
yeah.
But
I'm the best fire hose, so I'll make a good drink for you.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's real.
Was she serious?
Yeah. Oh, she's going to stick around for at least a couple weeks.
And watch, she's one of Ted's favorites. I bet you a meal at Sizzler that Ted loves her.
Oh, yeah. She's the one that the producers are like, you're keeping her.
Oh, yeah. What's the firehouse? Jimmy Kimmel talking about night one of The Bachelor. And yes, producer Ted will have his recap a little bit later. Of course he will. He loves her. I know he does. Totally loves her.
You know he does. Entertaining.
I just don't know what a firehouse is. Speaking of The Bachelor, another heartbreak in Bachelor Nation. And I'm going to say, Kendall called it.
Thank you.
I heard about this during the vacation, and Kendall called it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it brings me no pleasure to tell you, Pilot Pete is single once again. The reigning Bachelor and Kelly announced their split on New Year's Eve. She made it on the top 5 of his season, but was eliminated. The two rekindled after his love with Hannah Ann, and then Madison, and then his mom, but both fizzled out. Peter's mom has called Kelly the daughter she's always wanted. On Instagram, she wrote, "It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all."
Very nice.
Okay. Can I just say this?
Yeah.
I love my mom. There are boundaries. As Patrick Swayze once said in Dirty Dancing,
Please.
This is your space, this is my space, okay? If my mom ever sent out a press release, like, God forbid, anything happens to Colin and I, okay? Colin and me. What's the Colin and anyway? I don't want teachers writing me. But if anything happens, it's Colin and me. I don't want Dar sending out a press release. You know what I mean?
Right.
It is better that Jason loved once. Do you know what I mean? I don't want that. Mom shouldn't be sending press releases.
Yeah, but remember her like that whole season? It was all about her facial reactions,
Oh, yeah.
how involved she was. Like,
No.
no wonder Kelly got out of there. She like, yo, crazy.
Yeah.
Bye.
This is my space. Next in the dish, back from the dead. In my favorite story of the day, in a crazy twist you only see on Dallas, actress Tonya Roberts is actually alive. Yeah, I'm not kidding. A spokesperson had said that she had passed away over the weekend in LA, but they changed that story, saying that she's now on a ventilator. After a collapse, her partner Lance O'Brien actually got the call from the hospital that she was still alive while giving an interview to Inside Edition. Lance hasn't been able to visit her because of COVID. He says her condition is not COVID related. Let me be crystal Carrington clear. I am not laughing at her current condition.
No.
Now having said that, what I am talking about is this is bonkers. Something ain't right here. So let me get this straight. Lance is like, oh, she's passed on. And he goes out, he leaves the hospital, and he goes to talk to Inside Edition? Don't you, if your relative dies, don't you have paperwork?
Well, it sounds like they're not married, so that might not give him as many rights to be in the building during COVID. But it is odd that there wasn't like a phone call from the doctor saying, this has actually happened, she's passed, and now you can give your interview.
Yeah, even if they're just lovers. I mean, if the person passes away, you don't immediately leave the hospital. Thanks, girl. And you leave? No.
And give an interview to Inside Edition.
Yeah, thanks, girl. I've had a great time. I'm going to go call Deborah Norville now. No, that's why something's fishy. I hope she gets better. Now I remember her from the 80s. But Lance, something's fishy in those waters, and it ain't the trout.
Oh, I trout. Like, what do you got against trout?
I don't. It's one of my least favorite fish.
Oh, okay.
My favorite is the mahi-mahi. Next up, the new year, it's fabulous in a sandwich and just grilled.
Ooh.
Next up, the new year is off to a great start for Harry Styles. New love, new music. Harry released the upbeat video for his latest song, Treat People with Kindness.
Here we go now. Baby, we can find a place together, and we can treat people with kindness. Find a place.
Emmy winner Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag dances with Harry in the music video for the new song. It's already been viewed more than 12.5 million times in just a few days. It goes back to my theory, we're all just looking for some fun. We just want poppy music. I think that's why pop music's gonna have a big resurgence. I think people just want an escape.
That's true.
Yeah. Harry's love life is also picking up. He was spotted walking hand in hand with actress and director Olivia Wilde at the wedding of his agent this past weekend. Wilde recently split with her fiance, Jason Sudeikis. Harry is 10 years younger than Olivia. But I don't care. I'm gonna, because you know what? If it was a man, that's not a big deal. Because if it was the other way around, people would be like, bravo, mister, you go get that younger woman. But I love that every story had to focus on that Olivia was older. Who cares?
Right. Such a difference between him and Jason Sudeikis. Like their vibes are very different, and I like both of them. So she's got She's got a range of types. I love her. So
Yeah.
I'm like, bravo, girl. Be with like the hottest man in the world right now.
And he's just cool.
That's what I mean. He's cool.
Well,
He's
I
just
mean,
cool.
I love all of you watching, but this is a reality. To quote Oprah, this is what I know for sure. None of us will ever be as cool as Harry Styles.
No.
You know, he's like just the cool guy.
And the things you see on social media that people are like, oh my word, Harry Styles just fed my cat. Or they like weird things like that he does for people. There was a lady who he fed her fish and stuff. Do you remember this?
Was it a mahi-mahi?
No, it wasn't a mahi-mahi, Jason.
Next in the dish. If you're into collecting Baywatch memorabilia,
Oh, good.
a coveted item is hitting the auction block very soon, so get those fingers ready. A 14-foot-long model of the Hoff in his classic red swimsuit is going up for bid. The prop was used in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie and at the roast of David Hasselhoff. How realistic is it? Well, it has back hair.
The auction is open now. Everything goes. Check it.
Just had to add that.
Maybe this is why we've always lost our Emmy to the opera people. Is this, Jeff, is this why we've lost every year for the Emmys?
That's investigative work. That is true journalism right there.
Right. Bravo, Jeff and Ted. It could go for as much as $1.5 million. Bidding begins later this month. You have to apply the back hair separately. You gotta.
Does it wax? If you wax it, does it
I
grow
don't know.
back?
Look, I love props. Look, I'm a cousin Hannah calls me a
Have
big
you
kid
looked
with
behind here?
I have a lot of like if you go into our movie room. I mean, I have a giant Darth Vader bust that I bought after a cocktail or two. I mean, I am a child, but I wouldn't have a 14-foot Hoff. You know what I mean?
Would you though? I mean, maybe Mr. Celine Dion will buy it.
I have thought about buying like a life-size R2-D2. I mean,
See,
I have.
there we go.
I mean, but
We each have our things.
we all have our things. We all have our things. Hey, I should just tell you too, while we were doing the hot dish, TMZ has reported, and they have really good sources, and this is no kidding. I know it's hard to tell when I'm being sarcastic. Tonya Roberts has, within the last hour, it's been reported she has passed away. So I thought it was important to let you know, literally as we were doing this segment within the last hour. So I just awful. I mean, especially just 24 hours after the story came up again. So still ahead, everybody. Producer Ted is giving us a recap of night 1 of The Bachelor, and we're going to find out some of his favorite picks of the season. Well, we already know one. But next, we all need some extra warmth this time of year, don't we? And she's Mrs. Warmth. Stephanie Hansen is back with some of her favorite soups. You are going to love this when we come back. Back in a moment, everyone. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to the show. Don't need to tell you this, but it's the middle of winter, and you may need a recipe or 2 or 4 to keep you warm for the next couple months. Joining us, as I said, is Mrs. Warmth herself with some soup ideas, is the host of The Weekly Dish, and my dear friend, you know her, you love her, Stephanie Hansen. Good morning, Steph.
Good morning, Jason. I've pulled out my one freezer full of soups for you. Keep in mind, I still have another full freezer.
Well, and I was going to say, people think that I'm joking or it's just a line in a promo, but nobody knows soups. Stephanie and Stephanie on The Weekly Dish have done full shows on soups. And when Stephanie fills in on the radio show with me, we usually drink coffee. But no, Stephanie doesn't drink coffee. She drinks like the bone broth from the bones of a turtle or something. She's always, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, always.
Broth is so healthy for you, and bone broth is like one of my secrets to, I'm not a doctor here, but it works for me for weight loss, and it's just super healthy. It keeps your bones good. If it's good for the animal bones, it's good for your bones.
That's right. Okay, you have some soup ideas, and the first one, you gave soup to friends for Christmas instead of cookies, right?
Okay. Yeah, I started making cookies, and I was going to do cookie drops, right, to visit friends because you couldn't socially be with them. So I was going to leave stuff on their front porch. And as I was making the cookies, I just was seriously like, I don't even want to eat these. They're great, but nobody wants more COVID food, right? We're just eating all the crap. So I decided I would make soup instead. So I got my mason jars together and I made 2 quarts of soup. I made 14 of them and I put a little ribbon around them and I attached the recipe. And that's what I gave to people instead of cookies. And I cannot tell you how successful it was. Like, people sent me pictures. Just yesterday, a friend of mine was like, eating your delicious wild rice soup for lunch.
Yeah,
so it was just something different.
Stephanie, hold on just a second. I don't mean to interrupt the segment. Kendall, did you get any soup from Stephanie this year?
No, I forgot.
Okay,
I think she
Jeff,
forgot me.
Jeff, did you get any soup? That's a no. Joe didn't. Tyler didn't either. I'm
You
sorry.
guys were on vacation.
No, we were not.
Wow.
Kendall wasn't.
Wow. Did you hear Kendall? She was like leaning back in the chair. She rose up.
Girl, she's excited about soup. She knows I make good soup.
Well, speaking of that, I have here your Instant Pot wild rice, and I've heard you talk about this.
Amazing.
Tell the folks.
Yeah, I had it for dinner last night. It is an Instant Pot recipe, but you could probably do it in a slow cooker too, or just in a what do they call it? Yeah, that's what I ate last night with my little cheese board. You can do it in a Dutch oven too. I worked at the Dayton's restaurant, and the Boundary Waters wild rice soup was my like go-to classic, and I just figured out how to recreate it in a way that's delicious. And you can have cream or not have cream if you're not eating dairy. You can just you can puree some of the rice actually, and it makes it a little bit thicker consistency.
Creamy roasted tomato basil. Talk to me about that.
Okay, this is a Ina Garten staple, and I ripped it off, but it is so delicious. You literally roast Roma tomatoes in the oven, so they get all caramelized and the sugars break down, and then you puree them with basil. And then if you really want to be fancy, you can put like a little pesto swirl in there or buttery croutons on top. That soup was one that I made for holiday because people either love tomato soup or love wild rice.
And then you have your version of the Olive Garden zuppa Toscano.
Did you ever have this, Jace, when you went to Olive Garden?
Oh, my favorite is the pasta visual, but yes, I've had this and it's my second favorite.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird soup because it's got like ground pork and potatoes, and you wouldn't think that it would be tasty, but it's fantastic. And I've still never been to the Olive Garden, but a friend of mine was like, she was talking about the Olive Garden soup. And I was like, well, I could make that at home.
Wait a minute.
So I put together an adapted recipe.
Wait a minute.
I know, never been to the Olive Garden. We were going to go before COVID because we were going to take a listener there for my first time.
Oh, that's right.
Never been.
Well, we got to do that. Okay, chicken chili verde.
This is really just, if you're being healthy, it's just basically tomatillos, which are green tomato type fruit, and then chicken and some onions, some poblanos, some cilantro, and it comes together really easy, and it's super healthy. It's broth based. There's no cream. There's no beans if you don't want to. So it's just a good soup for people that are trying to like clean out the kitchen this time of year. You know, you got to clean out the belly. You got to clean out that belly.
I know, Steph. I know. I'm working on it. Slow cooker white bean and ham. I got to tell you, this is a variety I do not enjoy, but a lot of people do.
I think it reminds me of my mom. My mom would make beef barley soup or white bean and ham, and the ham was always left over from the Christmas ham or the New Year's Day ham. So I know people out there have ham. I love split pea too. You could see I made pea soup this year, but white bean and ham is it's delicious. It's comforting. It's warm. It's hearty. You guys, this is like 2 cups of soup, and this bigger one is 4 cups of soup. So if it's just for you, fill up the onesie and take it for lunch. If it's for you and your family, you can do 4 cups of this.
Okay, really quick. We have another segment with you, but everyone's watching, looking at your jars. What's your best tips for freezing soup?
Okay, people are freaked out that you can use mason jars for freezing, but you can. You just need to leave about an inch of what they call headroom so that when the soup expands, it doesn't crack the jar. I've had a few crack over the years, but legitimately, I almost freeze everything in jars. They're cheaper, and I just use so many of them, I can reuse them.
So that's the best tip. So about an inch, you said? An inch of headroom.
Inch and a half. Yep. And then what happens is the liquid expands.
Okay. I will be looking.
Here's one.
I'm back from vacation, so I will be looking forward to receiving a jar of your soups.
I'm going to bring it over.
Please, yeah. Now, if you don't feel like making soups like Steph, She has some great picks for soup takeout or delivery. She'll reveal that list when we come back. Back in a moment, everyone.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day.
Hey, buddy, go support on the guys at the Ant House. By the way, a little shout out. They did a great collaboration, a beautiful year-end video making its way around the social medias. Welcome back. Stephanie Hansen's talking soup with us. If you don't feel like making it, like Steph, why not support a local restaurant and get some soup to go or delivered? Okay, Steph, this is a great idea. We do about 1 or 2 days of like soup and salad nights, and I love it. I love a good vegetable beef. Not that I'm requesting that from you or anything, but let's start with, you have your list. We're going to Nolo's in Minneapolis in the North Loop.
I picked this one for you because I know it's right in your neighborhood. And they make their tomato basil soup like I would make mine at home. It's so delicious. It is in a bowl, and then they put the pesto swirl. And that little green, bright pesto swirl makes it really bright. They serve it with buttery croutons on top, and you can order it to go. Jace, I don't know if you remember, we did this segment last February about soups, and a lot of the places on my list aren't even open.
I know. And soups are just a good... it's a win-win. You feel healthy and you're supporting local.
A trick too is when you order takeout, get the soup and then just freeze it, right?
Yep.
So take a little bit off the top. So again, you have the headroom, but then just freeze it so you're getting like 2 meals.
We're heading to St. Paul next for pho. Where are we going?
We're going to iPho Saigon. They have it in St. Paul on University. They also have one in Inver Grove Heights. This pho, it's actually pho, is my favorite. It is just this giant bowl. There's 4 sizes. You can literally get a size that's like this big for a family of 4. And it's just got the most delicious broth. You put your jalapenos in there. You put your basil, a little fish sauce, a little sriracha. You stir it all up. I like mine with the frozen meats. They slice the meat frozen, so it's super thin slices of beef. Pho is like, if you're not feeling good or if you're feeling down and out or you're sick, it's like the miracle cure.
It is. Let's go. This place has the distinction of being the very first restaurant segment ever on the Jason Show 6 years ago, Zen Box, Minneapolis.
Oh, I love this. My friend John and Lena, they are an official Japanese ramen house, and it's Zen Box Izakaya. They have ramen to go. They have pork-based ramen, so they have a tonkatsu, which is where it's got bits of pork in it, or they've got the kimchi, which is a little more of the vegetable base, and then there's the pork broth. But, you know, ramen typically has noodles, it has vegetables, it'll have some meat, it has the jammy eggs that I just love. There's something about just a bowl of ramen. It's like a complete meal, and I think it's $14. It's really inexpensive, and you get a huge portion.
And they're great people. Love supporting. They're just
Very.
the best people. Let's go back to St. Paul, Steph, for Vietnamese. Where are we going?
Okay, this is Indochine, and it's on Grand Avenue. And have you ever heard of congee, Jace?
No.
It's basically like, okay, it's like a really soupy rice that's kind of like a risotto flavor because it's broken down and it's starchy, but it's very liquidy. And then they top it with different things. So it's got like crispy roasted shallots, and it will have cilantro and a little bit of ginger. It's just a different take, but it's a really hearty soups. The Asians have these really hearty soups that we just don't see, that we don't do a lot here in America. We usually do like one noodle, and we don't have all the toppings. I love congee. It's something Steph March introduced me to last year, and I'm crazy about it.
We're staying in St. Paul for some good crab bisque. Where?
Oh yeah, Dixie's on Grand. Like the original crab bisque is from Charleston, South Carolina. My brother lives there. We went there for a week. I ate it twice a day. It is just crab, it's sherry, it's cream. It's so like rich and thick and delicious, and it's got the brininess of the crab. It's really one of my favorite soups, and it's hard to find outside of Charleston, and Dixie's does a great job on Grand, and you can get it to go.
A classic chicken noodle soup in Minneapolis at the Lowry.
Yes, I went back to your friends at the Lowry. They have a lot of great like rotisserie chicken dishes, and they use that same chicken in a chicken noodle soup. They're big hunks of chicken breast. big pillowy carrots. It's warm, it's comforting, it's that broth that you expect. A lot of the great chicken noodle soup places around the Twin Cities are closed right now, and I think the Lowry is an excellent substitute. And it's easy to get in and out of the Lowry. They've got some parking right there, so you can quick get your takeout quickly.
Speaking of quick, 15 seconds, pimento in Minneapolis. What soup?
Oh yeah, this is red pea, and it's really kidney beans are red peas, and it's got a coconut base, and it's vegan, and they're BIPOC business that's on Nicollet Avenue, and you should patronize them. They have great jerk pork too, but their soup is really great.
Nobody knows it better. Steph, thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you soon, hopefully.
Absolutely, we will, with soup in hand. Thanks, Steph. For more information, head to stephaniesdish.com and listen to the Weekly Dish, Saturdays on My Talk 107.1. Still ahead, 32 women and 1 man are looking for love. But are they there for the right reasons? Coming up, producer Ted gives us a recap of night 1 of The Bachelor season premiere when we come back. Stay with us.
I think we've got a very dynamic group of women, and we're all trying to make a good impression on Matt.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed.
Everyone wants to stand out and do something that Matt is going to remember. Like, that's the name of the game, you know?
I think you're the greatest of all time.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll also think that I'm the GOAT. Everybody has something to bring to the table, so I hope he remembers those at least, but it's pretty memorable, right? Hi! I'm Kylie.
Work it!
Please help me choose a dress. Here we go. What is going on? I've never felt more unsexy in my life when there's lingerie and like all these sexy dresses and I'm in goat feet.
A girl just walked into here naked like it's a party now, like whatever. I know, right?
Okay. Goat feet, lingerie, and royalty, sort of. It was the first night of The Bachelorette last night, and the women tried to make a great first impression. Okay. 32 ladies quarantined at a resort in Pennsylvania to woo Matt James. And that means, once again, it's time for America Loves Ted. Producer Ted joins us from the control room right now, or actually from Bachelor headquarters. Hey, Ted, now we didn't plan this, but the question just came to me, and that is, I wonder if we look back in Bachelor history, Ted, if the women that pull stunts like dressing like a dolphin or wearing goat feet, how many of them actually get through? And how many of the women that just make a good impression because they're good people get through?
I've wanted to do a deep dive data analytics of this for a long time. I think this is a good research project. How is the shtick and how's the end result? What does that do for you? I think it's probably better than we think, but I don't know for sure.
It's only been 2 weeks since The Bachelorette, so I'm asking for the country that loves you, Ted. Is it too soon for The Bachelor?
Yesterday morning, I woke up and I didn't have that feeling. I didn't have that feeling that I should have on the first night of The Bachelor. It felt a little too soon, but once we started, I just felt so giddy.
Okay, now perfect timing. I'm looking at the video here. This looks different, Ted. Chris Harrison is not in the same place. It looks like the Yacht and Beach Club at Walt Disney World. Where are they?
They are at a resort somewhere in Pennsylvania. They told us where it was, but it's too complicated. Anyways, this is not the La Quinta. Remember, so they had Claire's season at basically a Motel 6.
Yeah.
And I guess they saved up enough money to have The Bachelor at this palace.
Is it beautiful? It looks, the setting, I would watch for the real estate.
Yep. It's night and day.
Let's talk about The Bachelor. I can't believe after all these seasons, the first black man to be a bachelor. Hype aside and history aside, did you like the dude?
I like that. So I've been wanting this for a while where we didn't recycle someone from a previous season.
Yes, you have.
So this almost reminds me of season 1 of The Bachelor, where you get a guy you don't really know anything about. There's this mysterious nature to him. What's he into? What are his likes and dislikes? So this is kind of exciting. because I don't know where this is going to go.
Well, let me ask you. Let me deep dive. Just a follow up here. Pilot Pete, we knew right away. It was like watching a bowl of oatmeal.
Yep.
This gentleman seems to be interesting as a television character. Am I right on that?
Yeah, and he was definitely, I mean, he was what any normal person would be on a first night meeting 32 women. He was a little awkward. He was, jaw dropped to the floor sometimes. It was just very real.
Yeah.
It seems like, he might have a good ticker for who to pick.
Okay, speaking of who to pick, let's get to it. You have a list just like Hansen. We're going to run down. Leo's going to try to keep up.
Yep.
Talk to me about the women.
And let's just be very clear. The Queen from the Jimmy Kimmel clip, not one of my favorites.
I know, I was kidding, but it wouldn't have surprised me. But go. Okay, so who do we have?
So here's what I observed Matt James and the women he liked. So here's what I think he likes. This is Bree. She was the first one out of the car. You just look at his face.
Look at his face.
He's just all about her. And anytime they put the first person out of the car, that's usually a signal that they're gonna do well this season.
Okay, Rachel.
I'm not big on Rachel, but it just, again, I'm just watching his reaction, and he's just sort of melting right there.
Yeah, look at him.
So Rachel, 24, from Georgia, she probably is going to do pretty well.
Kayla,
she came up in a pickup truck. She's from North Carolina. This is one that I like. I think he should consider her. I was all in on her.
Abigail.
Ooh, this is interesting. So Abigail, I think this is probably the first time we've ever had this. Abigail is deaf, and so she reads lips. So she's telling him right there that I can't hear you, but I read lips. And so she got the first impression rose. She was one of the first ones he kissed. So she's going to make it pretty far.
And then finally, this was controversial in our pre-show meeting. Kendall yelled at you, your pick to win.
I love a good pageant girl. So this is Mari. She's from Puerto Rico, moved to Maryland, became Miss Maryland USA, top 10 Miss USA. And I mean, why wouldn't he choose her?
Settle down, Ted. Settle down. Family show, Ted. Somebody, Leo, get him a cloth or something.
Dan Ryan, I need a fan in here.
Exactly. Producer Ted, everybody, you can watch The Bachelor on ABC. Yeah, get him a cloth, Dan. Look, he literally is sweating. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Get him a cloth. Welcome back. On the social media today, today's National Bird Day. Did you know that?
Oh, I
Unpaid
love birds.
researcher Phil Jones notified me it's Bird Day, so go out and celebrate birds.
Oh.
So one pet I've never owned.
Do you have a favorite kind of bird? Mine's the black-capped chickadee, but that's okay.
What did she say?
The black-capped chickadee. It's my favorite bird.
Isn't that a song from the Four Tops?
They have that really pretty, like, it's like their call. Okay, never mind.
You can stay connected with our show on social media. I gave her anyway, I let her fall right into that. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for Jason Show TV. How does that bird go again?
They say, hey, sweetie.
We'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us if we're still on the air.
Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie.
Time for Gumball Goodbye, everybody. We have 15 seconds each to answer. You ready?
Good.
What hobby would you like to learn? Go.
Oh, I don't know. This is too much, Jason. You go.
I would like to learn to paint and be a better photographer. I've gotten into photography. I would like to be better at it.
Okay.
Yeah. You?
Okay. I think I would like to be better at playing piano.
Oh, that's lovely.
I've been trying to learn, and then I keep forgetting, and then you have to backtrack.
I would really like that, yeah. Tomorrow on the show, Dr. Sandra Lee, Dr. Pimple Popper will join us live. I'm so excited to talk about her new season. Oh, It's going to be the best segment ever.
Is there going to be video that accompanies that?
No, Jeff won't allow it because
Oh,
we're a
thank God.
breakfast show. We don't like to ruin people's food. If you're a kid being bullied, you go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you're doing it wrong. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow with Dr. Pimple Popper. Make it a great day, everybody.